thing that I wanted to mention is that today's slides are a little different than the slides that I sent out in the reminder. We've had a couple more updates, and so I will send an updated slide deck to everybody when we send out the recording to today's meeting as well. So thank you for your patience with that as we're getting some updates throughout the day. So here we go. We'll get moving here on our updates. And JJ, Dr. Evans, if you're available and if you would like to turn on your microphone and go ahead and give us a few updates that you're showing us on your slide.
Good morning, everyone. We hope we find you all safe and well, and your campus is safe and well as well. The N4C SGA has moved into a virtual operation for the foreseeable future. In lieu of that, we are changing our services a little bit. And first up, every first Wednesday of the month at 4 p.m., we'll be hosting a virtual leadership series for all students. And so I'll make sure that the link and invitation is sent to both the student development administrators and your student life personnel. It is open for any and all students. And our first series is going to focus all about voter education and how the new State Board of we have a member from the State Board of Elections talking about deadlines, dates, processes, and how our campuses can be more actively involved in educating our students about the voter process. And so we look forward to seeing you virtually online, and thank you for everything that you do for our students.
All right, thank you, Dr. Evans. I appreciate that. And of course, if you guys have any questions concerning student life, feel free to reach out to JJ to ask any questions. Dr. Hickman, are you on the line this morning and able to give us an update on your items?
Yes, good morning, Student Services family. I hope you're doing well and staying safe. I wanted to just let you know that I know in the past we talked about having one college, that model. And so I think we made a great step in the right direction towards that with the increase of continuing education scholarships and financial aid resources for those students. Also,
Foil is now joining.
Also, we are working closely with the financial aid office, the business office, and also the continuing education department to create a process where if a student receives a scholarship from continuing education, that information is then recorded in the financial aid office and dispersed through the business office. In the past, that money had been probably recorded as a sponsorship, or it was sent directly to the business office. And so there was no way of tracking the scholarships those students received. So with these current scholarships, we're working on a process now to make sure that information goes through a process through the financial aid office and is readily now to better track if you need information on those scholarships. And also now those students are treated as traditional students in that respect. So I think that's a great idea and great thing to happen. Also, the admissions and registrar's calls will start again this month. The first call, we're looking at having Tammy Hill, who is our auditor, introduce her new staff and also the audit requirements for the schools this month. And I think that's going to help the schools moving forward if they know what the changes are and to their workflow and what auditors will be looking for as they visit the campuses beginning this semester. So.
All right, thank you, Monty. I appreciate that. And of course, if you have any questions concerning enrollment management, admissions and registration type things, then Dr. Hickman's the man to reach out to.
Yes, please call me.
Okay.
Email.
Thank you, Monty. I appreciate that update. And so now we'll move on to our next slide, and that's with Dr. Trudy Hughes. And I don't think Trudy was going to be able to be available. She had a conflict with this morning. Trudy, were you able to join us? No, I didn't think she was going to be able to. So you can see her slides. For those of you following along on the phone, this should be slide number 4. And there's a couple of things that we needed to highlight here with ADA and Title IX is that we've confirmed with multiple sources that students with disabilities should adhere to the face mask regulations like any of your other students. And so accommodations that might assist those students who, for medical reasons, cannot wear their mask, the best thing for them would be to have some sort of distance ed option because the community safety or the community health is paramount to your campus, of course. And so we just wanted to let you know that we did confirm that, and by our understanding, that's the practice of most of the campuses at this time as well. There will be webinars available starting again in September and October regarding mental health needs of our students, and especially for disability services staff, so keep your eyes open for that. She has sent recently the information regarding those webinars, and then also some valuable information from Dr. Reggie concerning the Title IX updates, which were to be implemented for this August 14th. So Trudy has been working to come up to speed on Title IX, and so we appreciate her work in trying to bring together all that information, especially when it's such a ever-changing situation when it comes to Title IX compliance and laws. So feel free to reach out to her or me when it comes to Title IX questions. We did reach out to Parker Poe and SUNY Student Conduct Institute, and they're doing some, they provided some Title IX changes and updates as well that Trudy sent out on her listserv. So if you have any questions about that information that she sent out with the webinars and with the Title IX changes, please reach out to Trudy Hughes, and I'm sure she'll be able to resend those out or send them specifically to you if you missed those emails. And if you are not a part of the Title IX listserv, that listserv, you have to connect with your person on your campus who manages the Gmail, or not Gmail, the email accounts on your campus for your campus emails. And they're the ones that will be able to add you to listservs. So if you feel like you want to be a part of the ADA or the Title IX listserv, please make that request at your local level at your college campus. And so those are some updates from ADA and Title IX. And I'll take a second here to check the chat box. I'm not seeing any questions, so we'll continue to move forward. And so, Jennifer, were you able to join the call this morning? Okay, I'm not hearing from Jennifer, and I believe she was like Trudy and had a conflict this morning. So the NC Career Coach Annual Report will be presented to the September State Board meeting. We're working on those last minute data and information for that report. That report is due to the legislators by October 1st each year. That annual report gives us, positions us to show the success of the Career Coach program to the legislator, and also to position us to ask for more funding, of course. So the report's looking good. We appreciate everybody's cooperation with Jennifer to get that information in, so that way we can complete that annual report and be in compliance with the legislation. The advising and career coach updates, she'll resume that again in September, much like everybody else is planning to do. Kind of as a side note with that, we all kind of took a break with the Skype or the virtual meetings in all the functional areas because we knew how things were a little crazy and busy on your campuses. So I hope you understand why we kind of backed off a little bit, because we knew that you guys were trying to figure out how to best serve your students. And then our last bullet there on slide number 5 is the professional development schedules for both those advising and career coach professional developments will be released and sent out here in the next couple of weeks as well. So if you have any questions about career coaching or advising professional development or the advising leadership academy that Jennifer's working on, please feel free to reach out to Jennifer. I think Susan was going to try to join us this morning. Well, Susan, were you able to join us? So I really appreciate the work and partnership that we have with the Student Success Center. It has been a great resource and a great partner in working with the student services team and also with the faculty teams and instructional teams at the system office to provide great professional development for our staff and faculty across the state. And you can see here a list of several different professional developments that will be available in the upcoming weeks and months. When I send the link for the recording of this meeting, I will include more of the details as far as how to register for these different professional developments. It just got a little too busy to put that on the slide. So when we send out the new slide deck, with these professional developments, it will have all the details in it and the link for the recording. So last but not least are a couple of updates that I've been working on over the past few weeks. And the first one is the Associate Director of Student Aid. We are hoping to be able to announce that person in the next couple of days or weeks. And that person will begin on October 1st. So we're still going through the hiring process, but we hope that that announcement will come out very soon. This is basically the re-envisioned position that Wanda White used to be in. We felt like that we needed a position full-time in the system office that dealt only with student aid. So this person will deal with Title IV. We'll work with the veterans benefits. We feel like that was kind of a gap. We needed to have somebody up here that was an expert with veterans benefits, and then also with state aid and other scholarships. So we're looking forward to get that new person starting, and hopefully I can send out that announcement here in the next week or so to let everybody know who the new member of the student services team will be at the system office. We are still teleworking. So we very seldom go into the office in Raleigh. So I wanted to remind everybody that the best way to contact somebody on the student services team is via email. We do not have the same technology that some of you have at the institutions where you receive your voicemails on your email, or you get an alert that there is a voicemail. So sometimes it's difficult for us to get our voicemails, so I strongly encourage you to please email us if you need to get a hold of us. I wanted to give an update as well to the Students Assistance Program. I thank everybody that in the middle of your fall enrollment activities that you were able to get into the meetings that we had to implement the Student Assistance Program across the entire state. And I appreciate you getting that paperwork in and working with my group in order to get that implemented on your campus. I believe those services are going to be paramount to our student success over the next several months, given the social issues that are going on across the state, and also just because of the pandemic impact emotionally and mentally on our students. So I hope that students will become aware of those available services for mental health support. I did want to give an update, and I will be sending an email out about this when it comes to the Student Assistance Program. And that is that we said in the kickoff and in the orientation about SAP that not all workforce continuing education students were eligible. However, that is incorrect. I'm going to say it again. So we miscommunicated in our last update when it came to SAP, and that the correct answer is that all workforce continuing education students are eligible for SAP services. So regardless of how many hours they may be taken in a CE course, so all students, CE, CCR, CU, CCP, all of those students are eligible for SAP services. We also confirmed with Title IX, there was a question in the orientation about reporting obligations at the institution level. If a student discloses a Title IX or alleges a Title IX incident to their SAP counselor, and the SAP counselor does not notify the college because there is not a safety or threat issue to the campus or to the client. So there's not a breach of confidentiality required. Is the college liable because they were not aware of that allegation and therefore did not report that allegation? So this is the same situation that we're in now, even if you have referrals to local providers for mental health, or even if a student makes an allegation to their physician or at the hospital and the college does not become aware. If you are not, the college is not liable, and we've confirmed that with legal advice, and also contacted several Title IX coordinators across the state and other experts, and feel pretty safe and confident that you don't have to worry about that. The career coach, academic advisor, the special funding, that report is a monthly report. It's a little confusing, and I apologize for that, because the business office and the finance side also has a report that goes along with those funds. There is also the link for the programmatic piece of the report, and that is a monthly report, and that is due the first Friday of each month. So please get those submitted in a timely manner, because we have to submit those to external agencies, OSBM, to keep them informed on how we are using the monies. And one thing that JJ and I are very excited about, and that's the last bullet there, is we are have been working with the UNC system for quite some time now, and have finally come up with a better data online form and potential landing page for student complaints at the state level. And so we hope to get that in place and get that cleaned up in the next several weeks. So keep your eyes open for an email coming from either myself and or JJ that gives you the new link for the student state level student complaint website, and we'll have a better data tracking system of what happens and the results and so forth of those complaints that come up our way. There is not a policy change when it comes to this. So this does not result in the system office having more authority or power when it comes to student complaints at the campus level. This is just a new landing page and a new tracking system for us to better timely serve and respond to complaints that we receive. Still, the final decision of complaints, it remains the due process on your local campus. So I'm going to pause there. I think we all talked to you quite a bit and see if we have any questions. And I do see that we do have a few questions in the chat box. And let me try to get to those. Let's see, when is the August report for career counselors, academic advising support due? And Barry, if there's any possible way to get that Friday, that would be wonderful. If because of the holidays, I don't know when your all's holidays are. If you have to push to Tuesday, I can deal with that. But if you guys can get it in Friday, that would help me a lot. I will send out a reminder today or tomorrow that has the link to the report, so that way you guys will have it at the top of your inbox and won't have to search around and look for that. Have a question about SAP. Funding is in place for SAP for how long? So the state will be paying for the funding of SAP for all 58 community colleges for this academic year. So that means we will not have it after this academic year at the state level, at least at this time. Of course, we are hopeful that we might be able to find funding, or at a minimum have a convenience contract available for colleges to opt in if they would like to opt in. So yes, the second part of your question, Christine, is if I were in your shoes, I would plan for both scenarios. And so the second scenario would be if you want to sustain the program locally, trying to identify the funds available to help with that. See a question from Joanna Cape Fear. Is there any possibility that the special funding for academic advising might be extended beyond December 31st? No, there is no possibility of that happening. That money was the CARES Act fund money that went to the governor's office, and he allocated a certain amount to the community colleges. And by federal regulations, that money ends, and it ends on December 30th, not the 31st. I don't know why. We could all contemplate different reasons. However, it ends on December 30th. And so as a reminder about that, that means that the money has to be spent by December 30th, not just allocated, but spent. So the money's got to be out of your checking account, so to speak. Okay. Christine, no, I do not have an idea of what the annual cost for SAP would be for your institution. What I would encourage you to do is to talk to Greg or Joyce from my group and ask them to see what cost and what prices they would give for you. My next conversation, I believe I have a meeting with them Thursday. I will start the conversation about whether or not we could have a potential convenience contract for next academic year. But then I don't think it would hurt for you to go ahead and have a conversation with them as well, if you would like. Natasha is asking, will we get any data from the statewide SAP per college to help support future funding? That's an excellent question. Each college will get and does have access to user information reports on how many students are using the SAP. There is not a way, because of confidentiality reasons, to be able to connect specific students to their student success. However, you can get user reports to find out how many people are using it and what are the common issues that they're bringing. And that report should go to whoever you designated at your institution as the POC for the SAP. I felt like Robin Williams there for a second. So then from Lisa Eads, she just wants to give a reminder that the deadline is the same for the virtual student tutoring funds that she's helping manage on the programmatic side. All the money has to be spent by December 30th as well. So thank you, Lisa, for giving us that reminder. Okay, a couple more questions. Do we have to request these SAP user reports, or are they sent to us without request? I don't know for sure, Barry. That's something that I can ask, but I believe that they're sent to you automatically. But don't hold me to that. I need to investigate that to make sure. So my friends, I think that that is all the questions in the chat box. I know there are several of you on the telephone. Is there anybody on the telephone who would like to ask a question?
I would, this is Monty. I just want to reiterate about the statement about dispersing funds. I would say to please work with your business office to make sure that the scholarship funds are dispersed. JW made a point of saying not just paid, but also dispersed. What we're seeing is that uh, in financial aid and maybe in the other programs that the offices are giving the funds to the students, but the business office is not asking for reimbursement from the system office. So you want to make sure that you work with your business office to make sure that those funds are dispersed to the business office and that the business office have requested reimbursement from the system office for those funds.
Okay. Thank you, Monty. I appreciate that. Yes, you guys know how the relationship between the business office and student services, especially in financial aid, is salient to our success. So thanks for that reminder, Monty. I appreciate that. I have a question from Jasmine in the chat box. As for SAP and workforce development students go, is this hot off the press this morning, or the institutions who are participating are already been made aware? So I don't know for sure if I understand the question, Jasmine. Is the marketing at the local level for the Students Assistance Program to your workforce development students and your CCR students? That marketing needs to happen at your institution. So similar to how Monty was reminding us how important it is to work with the business office, I would encourage you to work with the other academic areas on your campus to better market those SAP services to your entire campus. So that's not been anything that we have announced because we don't have access to your students. So did that answer your question, Jasmine? Okay, we have another question, and this is something right off the press from Natasha Lipscomb. Thanks, Natasha, for this question. The GEAR Scholarship, and Monty, you might have to mention a little bit about this in a second, is the GEAR Scholarship that the governor's office just awarded. We're so grateful for that. It is only for continuing workforce education. It is not for curriculum students. We hope to get the budget notification email or memo out from finance, and then further guidance about that from Nate Humphrey and Monty Hickman. Hopefully all of that will come out tomorrow so that you guys can go ahead and start awarding those monies to those students. Any other information that they need to be aware of, Monty?
No, that pretty much covers it. The programs that are eligible for that within the workforce continuing education will be within the memo that's going to come out. And again, also Brandy Massey is going to send out instructions to the financial aid office about coding those students. Again, that's part of that lump of scholarships that we're processing and coding through the financial aid office. So again, make sure that when you get that information that you work closely with your continuing education and financial aid office to make sure that process happens. So we're seeing some former reports that information, that process is not completing through some campuses. So we want to make sure that you actually finish that process. So, but the GEAR Scholarship, and also you have the Blue Cross Blue Shield Scholarship that is new also, that is for continuing education students.
And so that was part of the question from Christine in the chat box, Monty, is
Ah,
what else is in the lump of scholarships for CE? So there's the Gear Scholarship coming, there's the Blue Cross Blue Shield. Is there anything else?
there's one coming out. I think the Independent Insurance Scholarship. That has not come out yet, but we're getting information on it now. And also Golden Leaf. That process has changed also.
Right. And Monty, I believe that in reference to Barry's question in the chat box, the Golden Leaf Scholarship is the one that's critical to make sure that you're working close with your business office and to make sure that the money is moving correctly.
Yes,
Is
and
okay.
the Gear Scholarship is going to be the same way.
Right. So as more and more monies become available for workforce continuing education students, we could foresee that the financial aid office will be vision or breadth of service is slowly going to start including continuing education students, not just curriculum students. So that impact is on the technology side. It's on our historical perception of the mission of financial aid offices. So there's going to be a lot of change management issues around that. However, that's what we're seeing that's coming down the line as far as the use of workforce continuing education scholarships.
Yeah, and I think they're going to also see a move to track those students better also, because in running those reports that we need, we're going to have to figure out a way to identify the programs of study for those students and, their completion rates. And so if you could think of a process to, we already know that Con Ed students are treated differently than curriculum students. And so if you can figure out a process to make sure that those students are pretty much managed the same way, then that'll help us when we're looking at running reports and data and getting data on those students.
Right. And so the only other piece that I'll mention to that is that we're working very closely with Randy Massey and the financial aid review team to make sure that everything is in sync when it comes to that concept and then operationalizing that concept. Any other questions, either unmuting your microphone or in the chat box? We'll give everybody a second. Well, as always, everyone, the last slide here is our contact information. And please feel free to reach out to any of those individuals or myself if you have questions or if there's something that we need to do to better serve you. Please let us know. Last thing that I'll say is that I'll hope to send out an email here in the next couple of days that will have a link to the recording of this presentation, also an updated slide deck, and then as promised, the North Carolina Student Success Center's professional development registration links and dates. So thank you everybody for your time this morning. And if you need anything, please reach out to us because we will need to serve you so that way you can better serve your students. Have a great day, everybody.